You are listening to the No Invite Podcast.
Season 3.
The progression.
Follow us on Instagram at no_invite_podcast or look us up on YouTube at No Invite Podcast.
The best kept secret.
Orale, we're back. No Invite Podcast, episode 96 official. We are moving down the dam. We're almost getting close to that century mark or whatever.
Just 4 away now, huh?
We're 4 away. I want to do something big for the 100th episode. I don't know what we're going to do. I had an artist that said that apparently he wanted to be on the 100th episode, but I mean, timing is everything. So if you can't meet the requirements, that I can't guarantee you a spot. And
we got to do that, the dating thing for Ann, right?
Yes. If Ann's around, I mean, we can't hook Ann up if Ann ain't around, you know what I'm saying? So that's definitely what we're trying to do. We're trying to make some, do an event, do something, make it an occasion for everybody. But for the moment we're here and you know who we got, go ahead and introduce yourself for the people.
It's Hot Mama.
That's right. Hot Mama right now looking like she's somewhere locked up in the basement in a terrorist organization.
I am in the basement.
With the shit in the background, like they're about to do a propaganda video with her blindfolded and shit in the back, the hostage right now. Blink if you're in danger, you know what I'm saying?
2 times if you're having fun.
2 times if you keep blinking if you're having fun, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm actually in my husband's workstation right now. This is his little area. I wonder what kind of background he has normally, like because this is like he could change it, I'm just not that cool. I don't know how. Green screen
popping, No, that's so cool. I to me, for the life of me, I don't understand why they didn't make all houses with a basement. The fact that you guys got one, I think that's extremely fucking cool because that's just dope. Like it's just a whole nother room that you could do whatever in. You know what I mean?
There's so much space for activities.
I know. Like let's build bunk beds down here. You know
Exactly.
So how have you been? How's your week been treating you?
Hey, I had so much fun last night. I went out dancing. We went out dancing.
What kind of dancing?
Just dancing, I guess. I don't know. I'm old.
I mean, I gotta ask. Everybody does different things. So.
No, it was definitely a good time. My husband's a little hoe too, so it was like we were like cutting it up out there. And it was my friend's birthday, and I haven't been out like dancing in like such a long time. So I'd had a really good time. We didn't get home till like 3 a.m. I felt like a party animal.
That's right. I mean, once you get old and got responsibilities and shit like that, you start to appreciate these little nights that we used to take for granted when we were younger and we'd fucking party all night, come home when the 2, 3, 4 in the morning type shit. Once you got No,
it was so kind though. It was even better because like instead of having to wake up and take care of those responsibilities, like AKA children, Tim went ahead and handled that.
Responsibility. Yeah, I like how we're just giving them like a no kind of name, like they're an inanimate object or something. But yes,
it's the boy and the girl, honestly.
Terrible. No, what you guys had a sitter the whole night?
Yeah, well,
awesome.
It was my niece who came over and I ended up bringing her back home in the wee hours of the night and stuff. So I had to stay sober enough to handle business when I got home. Yeah.
But that's still dope, man. I mean, like I said, we really do take those things for granted, when we're younger. And then as we get older, we realize that like, yo,
what's crazy though is that like I didn't even have to like have so much alcohol or so much anything last night to have a good time. Like I was just so happy to be out that being out was like enough for me. Like for sure I had like some drinks or whatever, but like it wasn't like when we were kids, and like doing the most.
It wasn't like we drank 3/5 and popped 2 blue dolphins and we were out up all night. You know what I'm saying? Zooming and not this kind of zoom.
Zooming.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not like it was this what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But not. I mean, shit. That's dope. That's super dope. Like and so like I said, it's like I realize as we get older, it's like small things that it's really the small things that excite you. Don't get me wrong. It's like. Everybody loves to go vacation and do it big and do this and that and stuff like that. That's cool too. That's very exciting. But sometimes you get a lot of gratification just by the simple things, like having a night out to date, a date night, or having a day to yourself where there is no kids and you ain't got to worry about nobody and you could just do whatever the fuck you want to do. So that's dope. My week fucking could have been better. You know what I'm saying? Aww. We're over here talking about Ann and her dental issues and stuff like that. And I ended up fucking having a dental issue of my own. I woke up, my face was all swollen, and it was just one of those things where I'll being a typical man. You know, I had a little toothache that's been bothering me, and you know, I'm the type of motherfucker that's like, just like anybody, at most 98% of the male population, we're gonna wait till we absolutely have to go, to go do it. So
I think that's like kind of an adult thing though too, because I feel like I do the same thing. Like you put off yourself until like you have to, you know, like you don't even put yourself as a priority sometimes. Like your own health, like your mouth health is so important.
For real. And it's very underrated. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people that take care of their teeth very well and they appreciate it. And I for the most part, I do. I just kind of feel like maybe, I don't know what it is, but I've always had just like not great teeth. Like my teeth aren't ugly or nothing like that. But what I mean is just like, you know, my teeth chip easy. You know what I mean? I chipped a molar like
when I took my daughter to the dentist. She has like these deep grooves in her teeth. So she's already developed a cavity, right?
Yeah.
And my mouth is full of cavities. Like it's just that way. And I asked the dentist, like, do you think that it's hereditary that like her teeth are like, she has such deep grooves in her teeth, you know? So like maybe like our health, our teeth health is hereditary too, you know, like, or it's even environmental as well, like because of the things that we've eaten, or I don't know, maybe you're like gnawing on some bones or something. Why do your teeth just chip away?
Well, to be fair, I chipped a molar in a fight in Las Vegas. So somebody socked me in my jaw, and I guess I just like chipped a piece off of it. And you know what? That deep grooves thing is real, because when I went to the dentist and they checked me out, they said, you got a few cavities. They're very small. And he goes, it's not really your fault. He goes, because for the most part, your mouth health is really well besides this issue. You know, I don't have like bloody gums or gingivitis. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm very self-conscious when it comes to certain things. So like if my breath was like stinking like somebody that needed to get a tooth pulled, I'd have went and got it handled a long time ago. You feel what I'm saying? So, but he was telling me that those deep grooves, sometimes it's hard for the toothbrush to get in there. And that's what causes that. And that's what causes those little minor cavities. He goes, as long as you just stay on top of it, regular visit or regular cleaning, he goes, it'll be fine. He goes, some of them will fill them out so that you don't have to deal with that, you know, those grooves anymore and stuff like that. So, I'm kind of, you know, I was looking like Quasimodo. I had the crimson chin jumping off for a little bit, but I'm back and I'm confident enough to do a Zoom with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But take care of your mouth, you know what I mean? And for all those people that walk around and your breath stink. If your friend ain't your friend, if you don't tell you.
Just so you guys know, you have to brush your tongue. My grandma didn't know. She went to the doctors recently and her tongue was not the business. And apparently she didn't know, this 86-year-old woman didn't know that you're supposed to brush your tongue. So how many years later, she's over here brushing her tongue. So this is a PSA right now if you didn't know.
Brush your tongue, brush your teeth. A little mouthwash never hurt nobody. It's definitely it's generational, yo, because
so you know what happened to me this week too, actually, that wasn't generational but was my fault, is I had to fucking pay almost $1,000 for some contacts, and I was so sad because that's a lot of money. Like that's a lot of money to me. And when they told me the price, I was like, you know, really proud that I was able to hand over my credit card and, you know, pay for it. But at the same time, I was like, damn, like, and that's my fault, because as a child, like I would sit so close to the TV and like maybe even like read books in the dark and stuff, and all that strain on my eyes. And they told me that I will probably go blind eventually. And
Jesus
like
Christ.
They're definitely not the first optometrist to tell me that. And they said that when prescriptions are like as bad as mine, that like eventually like it's a high probability that I'll go blind. And I was like, God damn. So I'm like telling my husband, like, are you gonna describe our grandchildren to me?
That's terrible. Hopefully by that time they'll have some sort of technology that'll help that, get you a bionic eye. You know what I mean?
Like, how come they don't got that kind of technology already? Like, when's the last time you went and got your eyes checked?
It's been a while, you know, and I smoke a extreme amount of marijuana. So in my mind, in the stoner's handbook, I feel like I'm safe from degenerative visual optic stems. But I don't know. It's been a long time. And to be honest with you, once again, I'm a man, so I'm not going to go until I absolutely feel like it. So when shit, I start looking around and shit, I can't read and shit where it's like hindering my everyday life, then that's probably when I'll go. But I do got insurance through my job, and I got visual and dental and shit like that. So I should take advantage of it. And I probably
should,
will.
because I do not have insurance, and that is why I had to pay.
It's like $1,000 fucking dollars. That's what I'm saying. Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
that
even
was wild.
Yeah, even my procedure that I had, they were gonna bill me about $1,500 just from my procedure.
Oh.
And what's it called? Yeah, but because of my insurance, they cover it up to $1,000. So
you only had to pay like
$1,200. Excuse me, they covered.
Jeez, most of it then.
Most of it, yeah. So I came out the pocket, but I mean, at the same time, I was like, bro, if I didn't have the money, I'm pulling this bitch out myself. Like, you know what
no,
I'm saying?
you're not.
we finna do it old school style, baby. You know what I mean? But no, I hurt that bad though. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I could take a lot of pain, and I was clearly in a lot of pain for like a month or so when this toothache started happening. But you know, once it got swollen, I was like, yo, this shit is out of pocket. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know if I could hang, y'all. I was starting to be like, yo, I started rethinking my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to go to the dentist. I'm gonna be good. I promise. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I was just like, you know what, fuck that. And once again, I'm here, you know, and I'm trying to do my best to continuously keep the podcast rolling. You know what I mean? No Ann. Once again, the streets got a hold of Ann, and we don't know when Ann will be coming back. But I have full faith that she'll be back. It's not about if, it's more like when. Patty, you know what I'm saying? Sherlock Holmes, aka Patty 16th World, the producer, she's out right now doing what she does. Don't be mad at her, y'all, if she don't be on the podcast. You got to understand her sacrifices are for the greater good of all humanity, not just y'all listening to the podcast and wishing that she's going. So go ahead.
I really enjoyed the podcast that she was on a couple of weeks back. And so this past week, when I was like, kind of like, you know, like wanting to listen more, I had to like pull up one. Yeah, I had to pull up one that had like her, Ann, and you. And I was like, gosh, like this is such a good trio. Like,
you know what's crazy is that we haven't even got you in the building with Patty yet. We got to get everybody together for one. And it will be coming soon, coming to a theater.
All in time. I'm not even, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it always happens when it's supposed to happen.
As it should, as how everything else in life should.
I don't want to ever rush anything.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the podcast is going to go on no matter what, whether I'm here, whether you're here, whether whoever's here. We're going to make sure that we keep this podcast rolling for the people, because this podcast is and always forever will be for the people, for your enjoyment. Sorry about that. That is my obnoxious ass alarm telling me to pop my meds, because I am an official pill popping animal right now. So allow me to fucking set a horrible example on the Zoom right now, because I always tell people don't be eating on the fucking Zoom and shit like that.
This is like this is important though. Like, you're supposed to, you know, take your meds. So it's not like you're not just doing this for funsies.
I mean, yeah, it's not like this is 2007 and it's a blue dolphin, like I said. But
those were some good times, bro. Oh gosh,
man, this was what it was and what it is. You feel me? So
yes.
Shout out to the whole
Islamic movement.
Shout out to the nation of Islam. You feel me? You know what I mean? you know, you guys definitely held us down, and you guys are part of the reason why there's probably so much of us with kids out there, because we was doing a whole lot of fucking back then, probably. I don't know about you.
No, I was always afraid. I heard that, like, if you had sex while you're thizzing, that, like, it would never be the same again. So I never did.
The earth would be scorched after that. You would scorch the earth.
It will never be the same.
You lose all sensation after that, and you become a nympho freak and shit.
Too late. No.
Hey, when you think about it, bro, look, how many fucking things that they used to tell us back in the days to like deter us from shit that was totally, absolutely false.
Yeah, but the orange juice did enhance it, though, didn't it?
It did. It does, and I think it's something about the citric acid. I was told. You know what I'm saying? That's different. I'm talking about like, you know, if you. Well, okay, so let's say. What are one thing that people told you back in the days that you better stop doing this shit, or it's gonna you're gonna permanently scar yourself for life? I'm gonna tell you one. You better stop making a face like that, or your face is gonna get stuck like that. It's like, come on, a lot of you motherfuckers never made a face like that, and look at your fucking face. Your face is terrible. Your face looks like you've been made a face your whole fucking life.
You're being mean.
Not being mean. And also think about it like this. I popped a lot of pills and my face was like this.
Oh my God.
My face didn't stay like that.
The Thiz face, though.
The Thiz face. Like, yeah, I'm talking about. Face didn't stay like that. My face went back to normal.
The teeth grinding, gosh.
Oh my God, bro. Hey, and I'm not even good. Look, it's no shade to anybody, but don't forget, you motherfuckers better not ever forget in your fucking life that y'all was being, when motherfuckers really started popping smackers out here, you motherfuckers was over here sucking on fucking bottle nipples and fucking pacifiers, popping Thiz and rubbing each other in dark rooms and shit. I used to look at y'all like, I don't like, this was pre the Thiz era though. This was like 2000. I want to say 2002, 2003. I know a couple people, I ain't gonna say their names, but just know that I know you motherfuckers were sucking on pacifiers and shit and rubbing fucking vapor rub on yourselves. And,
what are they doing now?
I mean, they're hoping what they're doing is they're hoping nobody brings that shit up. And I'm not gonna be the one. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that we don't want brought up, I'm assuming. But, you know,
no comment.
a lot of hideous skeletons in these closets around here. You know what I'm saying? But no, I mean, you know, there's a lot of shit that people said that if you don't stop doing this, it's like a fucking urban legend. It's like, you don't stop doing this, you're gonna get stuck like that. And you know what? To be honest with you, I heard that the staring at the TV hella up close that's like a myth. Like that doesn't affect your vision. So? I think they said though that reading in a dark thing, I'm not quite sure, so don't quote me on this, but reading in the dark is because it's for straining your eyes. Yeah. But I mean, look at us now. We're like this with a fucking phone to our face all
I mean, it doesn't help.
I'm sure it doesn't, but I'm just saying.
I'm going to have to ask the optometrist lady because she was so sweet. She was the nicest lady that like ever checked my eyes, and she was very informative.
She was so gentle.
She really was. Her voice was so sweet. I had went to an eye appointment like maybe a few months back. The dude went in on me. Like, I don't know if I was like just extra sensitive that day or something, but he was like, don't you want to watch your kids grow up? Like, you're going to go blind if you keep on doing what you're doing. And I was like, huh? Like, I went home and cried. And then this lady was like, yes, you know, like you need to take better care of your eyes. And I was just like,
traumatize the fuck out of you.
No, see.
And then when somebody was nice to you, you're like, yes.
It's all about how you talk to me. No,
it is. Hey, we said that already on the podcast, did we not?
It's the tone of voice, really, is the way that you give this message, you know. And so the way that she gave it to me, definitely, I believed her, and I took better care. And like usually, I sleep in with my contacts, which is a really dirty habit. And she told me like, you better not. And then I was like, okay, bet. And I did. Well, I just forgot to take them out because it's such a dirty habit, you know? So much.
Yeah,
otherwise.
You always want to go against the grain all the time. Somebody, you're asking to get put in line.
Hey. It's a different story.
That's a whole different experience in itself. You know what I'm saying?
In the morning time when I went to go take out my contacts because I was like, oh, I forgot to take them out. One of them like was really stuck to my eye, and I had to like use my like nail to scrape it off of my eyeball, and it really scared me. And since then I haven't slept with them. So
you know what, as unfortunate as it is, and now that we're fucking parents, you know what I'm saying, and we realize this and we have kids and we're trying to teach them shit, a lot of times, you know, your parents could teach you either be the most clear, most honest, most perfect way, and we still don't fucking listen. You know what I mean? Like, we, unfortunately, humans, the way we're built and the way we're wired is like, yo, we have to learn the hard way sometimes.
Yeah.
Or we have to see it to believe it, which is unfortunate. Yeah. Shit ain't just people don't just say shit just to say shit. And at the same time,
are you sure? Because I have to like figure it out on my own.
And at the same time, we grew up getting told that if we keep making that face, our face is gonna stuck there. So we got a little bit of trust issues. So it's like, yo, are you sure? Are you sure? Let me find out. Let me find out first. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck around and find out.
Exactly. And you fucked around and you found out, didn't you?
I did.
She's I don't know how this could have happened. Well, maybe, you know, your deteriorating vision, maybe that little scraping a thing off your eyeball didn't help it, did it though? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you.
I learned.
You got them Coke bottle things too.
I do.
I never realized that. As many times as I've seen you, I never really looked at them and realized that. I didn't know your vision was that bad. Jesus Christ.
It's ugly over here. Hey, I'm telling you, I listen to like a crime podcast, right? And I always think to myself, like, I just think like a crime person, right? And I always think to myself, like, people will know that I've went missing if my glasses are still at home. I ain't going nowhere without my glasses. Like,
Esther, you ever get kidnapped, you better toss your glasses so people know. Like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
throw them under the bed or something.
Exactly. Like foul play.
Yeah.
I don't like those crime podcasts for shit. You know that?
Why not?
Because I've lived through a lot of that. Like I've been in jail. I went to jury trial before. I've you know, been incarcerated. I've been in jail with murderers and people accused of murder and just seen the worst of the worst in person. It's like, to me, it's like, yo, I'm doing my best to get away from that shit. Like, I don't want to, you know, and it's funny because most people that are fascinated by that, they never like really been in jail. You know what I mean?
I've always said that I'm too pretty for jail. I could never.
Whatever. Yeah. Until you find out it's like orange.
I'll do what I need to get out of it.
There's going to be a dude in there. He's identify as woman. You're my celly now. Make my bed and you know what else you got to do.
Do whatever I need to. No, I'm joking. You're right. I have I've never been in the whole thing. And even like in crime.
He's like, whoa. He's like, whoa, hold on. It's just a parking ticket. You don't have to. You're like, are you sure? Like, you sure? I don't want to go to jail.
You're calling me out now. No.
Let me find out you got an immaculate driving record with not one ticket. How'd you do that,
huh? Hey, I'm not saying. But you can ride with me.
No, what's crazy though is that's not a two-way street. It's not like I could it's not like if I got pulled over and it's a female cop and I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying, what can I do to get about this ticket? She ain't gonna be like, okay, check this out. That doesn't work. It's not happening. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe you're just not doing it right. No,
I don't think I would get the opportunity. She'd just look at me like I'd probably get tased and beat up and shit. And then I'd be another check.
You want to hear a cool story? Okay, here, I'm going to tell you. Because I told it recently to my chatting friends. Yeah. So when I lived in Oregon, I worked for a Forest Service, right? Like the government. And there was these cops that I used to work with. We called them twig pigs because they were law enforcement officers, but for the forest, right? Oh, and we're not going to say any names, and I'm not going to say any like forest that I actually worked for or whatever, because I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. But So I used to like flit around with these guys a lot, and it was like so much fun. And one day they tell me like, hey, do you want to shoot this AR? And I was like, fuck yeah, I do. Because they would confiscate a lot of stuff, right? Like inside of his office, there was like, so much paraphernalia. And so he's like, well, let me tase you, and then I'll let you shoot this gun. So I rode out with them to like a rock quarry where you could like shoot guns at and stuff. Because in Oregon, you could just fucking shoot guns, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I said, but anywho. And
tread lightly.
So they tased me on my hip, and I got like 2 marks, and it was like pretty fucking hot actually. And then I got to shoot their guns, and I put it down at my hip, and I said, say hello to my little friend. And you know, I had to one time for the one time.
For the one time. I feel you. Esther out here living her fucking Scarface fantasies and shit.
Yeah, you know, when
That's
like when the time calls for it.
Okay, so I have a little. It's not. I've never been tased. I have been pepper sprayed like about 5 times in one session. And I'm gonna keep it light. I'm not gonna tell all the business or why, who, what, when, and where. I was in prison. We were in a riot, and I'm sitting there. I'm fighting. I'm squaring off with somebody. We're fighting in the hallways and shit. Right? It's a full blown riot. It's a lot of people. People are getting stabbed. People are fighting. It's like a fucking movie. So it's my first time in prison. I'm fighting, boom, 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 boom. And I see over the shoulder of the guy that I'm fighting, the cop's like, stop. And he, with his pepper spray, he pulls his pepper spray out, bam. So I'm like, fuck this shit. We fighting anyways. This motherfucker pepper sprays dude. It hits him off the back of his shoulder and hits me dead in my fucking face. So I'm fighting him. I'm like, I was like, you bitch. Start fighting. The dude gets down on the ground, so I run away from where the cop's at. I go around because this was dormitory. I go around the other way, jump to another fight with somebody else. We just start fighting. You know what I mean? We kind of knew already who we were fighting. It was a riot. Yeah. Here comes another cop, and he got the little hand cannon one, and he douses us both. So now I'm pepper sprayed twice.
And you're still going hard.
I'm still going hard. I got to, because at this point, if I stop, I'm probably going to get packed out. Like, you got to defend yourself. Once it starts, you got to keep going, So, I get fucking pepper sprayed again. Boom, boom, boom. The dude that I'm fighting with, he gets on the ground. I'm like, fuck this. I run away from where the cops at. I go around to another spot. We fighting again with some more people and shit. You know what I mean? At this point, I'm starting to everything's starting to get blurry, and I'm just but I'm still trying to hold my own. I'm coughing. Here comes the cop. Here comes another cop. Big fat ass, fucking ogre ass cop comes around. He has the shoulder strap canister one that has a little valve that you pull back, and he's like, stop, and I'm talking about from my fucking waist all the way up, just fogged me, bro. And at this time, I'm like, fuck. I'm like, So everybody scatters from there. They run away from where the cop's at, and they go to another place. They run around another hall where there's not, and they start fighting again. I come back. I'm fighting, right, and this time I'm starting to lose it. Like, I can't really breathe. I'm getting a lot of snot in my nostril.
I didn't even realize that there was so many different types of pepper sprays. Like,
well, they have the little hand canister. That's the personal one that they carry. Then they have the, what's it called? They have like the little bigger ones, the little bigger hand canister with like a little drum on it and stuff. And then they have the riot ones where they have the big fucking tube where it's like a handle. It's like almost like bear spray, but it's obviously made for humans. So I'm fighting. I get pepper sprayed one more fucking time. By this time, my nose is running so bad, and I'm producing so much mucus because that's what your body naturally does to prevent you from choking and stuff. It tries to make snot to clear whatever is clogging your passageway. I'm like, yo, at this point, I got the homies with me, and I'm like, bro, I can't see no more. I can't open my eyes. I cannot open my eyes. I could barely breathe. And I'm like, yo, I'm like, fuck, man, I'm about to get knocked out. Somebody's gonna sock me, and I'm not gonna see it coming. Yeah. So the homies got me. They're like, they're surrounding me, like, got you. They're like, the ones they're grabbing me by my shirt, like, follow us. Like, they're still fighting, but like, they got me. They're like in front of me, like, they got me in the middle and shit. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I don't give a fuck who it is. You touch me, I'm gonna punch your ass because I don't know. I can't see.
Yeah.
It got so bad that I fucking yacked because like I was at that point.
Jeez.
I was suffocating is what they're saying, because that's what your body's natural reaction also is. When you start suffocating, is to throw up to see if it could clear whatever is fucking, obstructing your passageway. I threw up, They finally laid the whole yard down. They came in, they let off shots and shit, and everybody got down. And it was the worst fucking feeling ever. So that's my pepper spray story.
How did you feel afterwards? Like, how long did it take to like recover from that?
They usually take you outside. I forgot. It was a while because it was a big fucking riot. So it was a while, but eventually they took us outside. And eventually after I threw up, because you also, when you get pepper sprayed, you produce a lot of tears. So eventually those tears started tearing my eyes. I was able to see again. They took us all outside, had us in cuffs. And eventually, they sprayed us down with water, sprayed our faces down and stuff like that. And I was okay. My whole skin burned. My face burned. It was like hot sauce on your face. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really fucking burned for a while. And I was okay. I mean, I don't know.
See, I feel like I've had such different experiences with cops, so that like that's why it's fun and playful for me. But like, I feel like if you've been in a riot or like if you've been hurt by the cops and stuff, then it's not so fun and playful.
Yeah, I mean, it's all perspective, right? Because like for me, I got beat up by police. So when people say, "Oh, they're good guys," I was like, you know what? Maybe for you. But I've never had an instance where a cop came to save me. And every time that a policeman showed up, and if for anything to do with me, I was either a suspect, considered a suspect, or treated like a suspect. You dig what I'm saying? I've never had a positive experience where the cop was like, "All right." Now that I'm older, obviously, and I'm not going to act like I wasn't out doing stupid shit and getting in trouble. But now that I'm older, I still got like PTSD from that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be driving around. I got my license insured. I'm at work. I'm fully legit squared the fuck up. And I'll see a cop. I'll be like, defense mode. You feel me? Like, but I mean, it's all perspective and experience, So my experiences are obviously different from yours. You got to actually be around some that were like, the cops in fucking,
Super Troopers.
I was going to say, Super Bad.
Oh yeah, those ones too.
But it's all about experience and stuff like that. That shit is really no fucking joke. I seen a motherfucker get hit because they also have rubber bullets. I seen a motherfucker get shot with one of those, and he came off the air and twisted up like a pretzel mid-air. That shit was no joke. So, shout out to all the fellas still locked down, man. I hope y'all come home soon. I know that shit's crazy. It's a very traumatic experience. And I was talking about it with somebody else the other day about that shit. It's just like, yo, we are so used to trauma that we actually start to feel uncomfortable when things are normal. You know what I mean? When things go right, like even for me, like I said, it's like I have absolutely no fucking reason to fear getting pulled over by a cop whatsoever at any time point. But my prior experiences and my trauma and shit, like I said, I've gotten beat up by the police. Yeah, I've gotten set up for fucking for crimes I didn't commit, which I went to jury trial and fucking won. So I could speak on it, and it's written in stone. It ain't perspective where I'm saying, "Oh, I was not guilty," but I ended up getting convicted.
Like you were most certainly set up.
I was most certainly set up, and it was proven in the court of law.
Hey, that city, them cops are fucking dirty as shit. Like, not even just that city. Just anywho, I feel you. Like, I know that I say it's all fun and games, but like the last time I definitely got pulled over, it was like, I'm such a jerk.
It's just like tase me.
No, the cop was such a jerk to me. And so I was like having an attitude. And when he gave me my ticket, I snatched it and just threw it on the floor. And I was like, well, then fuck you. And I drove off. And I say it's all fun and games, but like, I don't know. Like, I really like cops. I definitely like, I've never been like physically hurt, but like definitely, like you said, like all the times that they've ever came around in my experience, it's never been for like,
it's never been a positive experience. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to tell people is like, you got people that are like really pro policemen and stuff like that. And that's obviously you've had positive experience with the cops, and obviously they're to some capacity, they're necessary. Right.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's like, you can't undermine somebody else's experience and be like, oh, you must have been doing this, or they ain't like that. It's like, yo, they're very much like that. It's just like they're just like
very much like that.
Yeah, and it's just like anything else. It's like anything else. They're fucking human. So you're gonna have people that are dealing with things differently. You know, some people are by the book. They're not going to give you a pass, but they're not going to be assholes neither. Some of them are like, fuck you, and I'm gonna exert my authority and talk crazy to you and treat you like shit and do it basically whatever I think I want. But you know what? Now that I think about it, you know what I've been obsessed with watching on YouTube lately?
Tell me, please.
Is those videos where people correct the law enforcement?
What do you mean? I haven't seen actually.
It's like compliance, where they go and test law enforcement to make sure that they're not overexerting their power or abusing their authority. And what they do is they'll go to public places, because you know, like the police parking lot of the police station is public property. Now, once you get inside a certain part of the facility, you can no longer film. So these guys, what they'll do is they'll go in the parking lot and they'll be filming and they'll be walking around, you know, well within their legal rights and well within where they're supposed to be at, because it's a public parking lot. And cops will come out and they'll fucking, you know, be like, hey, let me see your ID, this, that, and other. And these motherfuckers do it on purpose because they're trying to make sure that they're being compliant and they're not abusing anybody's civil rights. And they'll know the law better than these cops sometimes. And they'll roast these cops. These cops will be like, if you don't, what's it called? We're going to da-da-da-da-da-da. And a lot of these motherfuckers, the cops that abuse their authority, they win lawsuits on them because they film everything. And I just been kind of obsessed with it. It's like, yo, if I fucking talk to a cop like that, I'm for sure getting tackled. I'm for sure getting my ass beat. And it's probably due to my ignorance and not knowing the fucking law. Because if I knew the law to the T like they do, they would probably think twice about doing that shit. But me, I'm gonna just tell them, fuck you. And then they're gonna be like, no, fuck you. And I'll be like, no, fuck you. And your mama too. And then
learning the laws and stuff is kind of cool. Like, I've never really been a political person, but I've recently come across a couple of documentaries that were like explaining some of the laws or some of the like political things. And I was kind of fascinated. Maybe because I'm getting older, my mind is, you know, starting to think about other things, but there's a lot out there. There is a lot of information and laws. And
I think it's very important for everybody to know the law and study it to the best of your ability. I know we can't know everything, but I feel like when it comes to, I think people should really learn about their everyday, the parts of law that pertain to their everyday functioning when it comes to dealing with police. Like when you know, what's the law on them pulling you over? What's the law on them? You know what I'm saying? What's the law? What are they allowed to do and not to do? What is the law when it comes to being profiled and questioned? You know what I mean? Because a lot of these dudes that, like, a lot of these videos that I watch on YouTube, that's what it is. They're just making sure they're not trying to be dicks, although they can be. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to make sure that the cops are not abusing their authority. So they're doing stuff, because like a lot of times in these videos, the cops point, well, you're looking suspicious. They're like, well, is suspicious being a crime? No, it's not. I could look suspicious all I want to. That's not a crime. But unless I committed a crime, you really can't tell me nothing. You're really not supposed to come approach me. You're not, if I'm looking suspicious, you're not supposed to ask me for my ID. I don't have to show it to you. You know, but a lot of these cops, because of intimidation and because they know that the public at large doesn't know the law, they abuse their authority. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm really into these things, because it's like, although I can't myself be doing this shit, I like that somebody's doing out there, because they're actually upholding the law and the constitution of this land and whatever you want to call it. But they're doing their part to make sure that these cops are not abusing their authority, that they're not out here fucking you know, taking advantage of the public and being tyrants and shit like that, which I think is important. Like, period.
That's really important.
Because go ahead.
I don't know. I just feel like it, like, kind of like checks and balance, you know.
It has to be because when you got any kind of power, no matter what it is or where it is, you know, if people are human, so they're gonna let it go to their head. You know what I'm saying? And especially when it comes to the law enforcement, it's like, dude, you guys are the absolute, you guys are the enforcers of the law. So in your mind, you're like, I'm the end all say all. Like, it's easy to, I'm sure it's easy for them to get drunk with power, you know what I'm saying? And let's face it, a lot of these motherfuckers that end up being law enforcement, and they could get mad at me all they want, I don't give a fuck. I'm sure if we took some sort of survey, I would be probably right. A lot of these dudes were picked on. A lot of these dudes were quote unquote nobodies in high school or whatever the case might be, and they took these jobs because they wanted respect. Instead, a title, respect, authority, and they wanted to be able to have some kind of say-so over somebody, which is some bullshit. That's not why you should have took this job. If you're going to be a police officer, it should be for the reasons why police officers are out there. You know, I don't, it's a whole can of worms when it comes to that shit. I'm not even going to get into it, but I find that those videos very therapeutic. It helped with my PTSD because you know what, I can't do it, but it was somebody's doing it, and that's good enough for me. God damn it. Yeah, shit's wild. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's a wild world that we living in, and we're very lucky that we are living in this age. Like how you were talking about how your grandma didn't even know about certain brushing techniques. It's like we have a lot of information on our hands nowadays. We're able to look up a lot more and be able to, just to know more and have a better quality of life than we did. I think about like even when I was a kid, I was like, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, we were poor. We're and there was a bunch of us just like you, so I know you could relate. So there was a lot of us. So at times there wasn't always enough to eat. We ate. We obviously weren't starving or malnutrition or nothing, but at the same time, certain things that other people were taking for granted, we looked at them like luxuries. We're like, yo, like, wow, you got to do that, or like. Tell
me about it, bro. I'm telling you, like, one night I'm eating dinner because one of my favorite things is to like eat dinner with my family, right? Like have my children, have my husband there. Like we don't get to do it every night, but when we do, it's important to me. And we're sitting there, and I'm like, my daughter is using the napkins, and I'm just like. I like became so humbled because I'm like, growing up, we didn't have napkins on the table, bro. Like that simple luxury of having napkins anytime on my table. Like I feel so fucking blessed that I could create that for my family. Like we didn't have that. Like sometimes we had to even like use other things, you know what I mean? Like it's just like, I don't know, it's the simple things. It's really the simple things. Like
it really is crazy. And I to be honest with you, I'm the same way. Like to me, eating our food when it's hot, fresh off the thing, that's important to me. I don't know if it's probably because, like I said, we didn't always have enough food, or, there's so many of us, we weren't always on the same page. Eating it like when it's fresh cooked, like, oh, it's just off the stove and putting it on the plate and here you go, eat, sit down, everybody. Or just like you said, having meals with everybody, all the family at the table. We rarely did that. We rarely did that, and it's small things. It's the small things. And to me, I look at it and I'm just grateful when I see that. Also because like I used to share table with a bunch of fucking strangers in prison. So to me, the little small simple things to me mean and matter the most to me, because it's like, fuck, like I said, we talked about it, when you have a larger family, unless you're like super financially secure, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. It's a beautiful struggle, because I wouldn't trade it for the world. I got my my brothers, my sisters. I knew that I could always count on them if we needed something. I knew that there was always somebody in the house. So I always felt safe when I was little. You know what I mean? I never felt like something was gonna happen to us. I always, I never really felt alone. Didn't really, you know what I mean?
Gosh, that makes me like my heart for sure. Just because like. I swear, like, that's what my siblings are for me, is like my protection for sure. And like my brother who passed away, that's like, I feel so sad sometimes because he would do a lot, and it's like, I don't know, my other brothers are there too, but fuck shit. That's crazy. As a child, I hated having such a large family, like, because we were so poor. Like, I'm like, God damn it, if there wasn't so many of us, I would be able to have new shoes every school year, or not be able to have my sister's hand-me-downs or whatever. And I hated it as a kid. But then like, as I became a teenager is when I started appreciating the bond that we had. And then as I became like a 20-year-old, I was like, it's different. And then now you're 30s and whatever, like it's crazy the different levels that your family brings to you, and like how simple things you just like are so grateful and so humble for. Like, it's crazy. And then like, I feel like I'd never even thought about like a perspective from your side, like eating at a table with strangers, you know, like that moment in your life, like that was probably like a really like intense moment, you know? And then like now to be where you are, like just so grateful to sit at your own table and not with strangers, right? Like
it's an extremely lonely moment. It is. It's you never I can never describe the loneliness that you feel when you're dropped from where you are into a community, which is what it is, of strangers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know you. They don't know where you've been. They don't give a fuck what you've been going through because they're going through their own shit. And, you know, eventually you get to know people and you guys share stories because that's what you do when you're in there. You tell stories, talk about the streets and, you know, your family and shit. And you bond with people because, you know, we're obviously in here and, you know, and we're dealing with the same shit. So you guys share family stories and you guys realize that a lot of stuff that they go through, you went through too, obviously, because you guys were fucking, you know, dealing with a lot of the same traumas and shit. But
sure, it's
still a lonely feeling.
No, like, I bet.
You never feel more alone than going somewhere where you know absolutely no one.
You know, I did that when I went to Oregon and I did Job Corps, and it was like, I think I was 17.
Similar. And that's very similar to prison.
But it was by choice though, you know, it wasn't like I was dropped there. It was like I chose to remove myself from my surroundings and then go. And like, I promise you, it was like definitely one of the most depressing times, like the most beautiful times in life, but the most depressing times in my life as well. Like I had to come home eventually because I was just like, this is like, I'm nothing without my family. Like, and I had to like be all by myself in order to find that out.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to having a big family, and we said them before, but one of them is that you kind of rely on that. You know what I mean? You're used to being communal and and being around people that you know and love and having that kind of support system, even if we didn't really support each other like that. But you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, like we didn't think we did, but we really did though. Like
just being there.
Yeah, for sure.
Just having
like literally, I never would be driving around with. I would like anytime I'd be driving around, I would have at least one of my siblings with me in the car somewhere. You know, like when there's so many of us, it was hard to do anything without at least one of us like around. And you know,
take your sister with you, take your brother with you. Like, you're like, yeah, okay, let's go. And we took it for granted. And then, like you said, but it's like phases. You know, when you get older, you start looking at things differently, and you start to realize what means the most. I think as you get older, because you have more of appreciation for life. When you're young, you're like, this shit's new, I don't give a fuck, nigga, whatever, one life, you know, YOLO, all the shit. And then you're just running with a full head of steam. And then once you have enough life behind you to be able to look back, you start seeing things differently. You're like, oh shit, like that's why these things were like that. And you're like, you know what, and yeah, going back to that, it's like a codependency almost. You know, you're like very codependent on your siblings and stuff like that. So then once you get away from that and you start building your own life, then that's when you're like, whoa, like, you know, you start to see like, okay, this shit's crazy. Like I loved it, but I also hated it, but I still love it. And I traded it for the world type shit, you know?
Yeah. I think that we're like at a stage now where I can really appreciate like where we all are, because we're all doing pretty well. I feel where we're not like super codependent like how we may have been, and it was like not in a healthy way, maybe where there wasn't like healthy boundaries, or like it was just kind of like anywho. And so now I feel like we're all like situated enough where it's not like unhealthy, you know?
We're all just beautifully damaged people. That's all it is. We're like that piece of fruit on the table. It looks really nice. You pick it up and flip it over and it's fucked up on the other side, you know? No, it's because look, the reason why I say that, right? I say that because
I'm bruised. No,
I tell people, that used to be my line. You know, whenever I didn't want to be in a relationship with a girl, I used to be like, yo, I'm extremely damaged. You don't want this with me.
You're a fucking jerk, bro.
But it was true. And I was trying to save people. Like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you a couple of examples of why I try to help people from dealing with me. I was known as, what do you call that? I was labeled as somebody that ran away from relationships, really. Okay. I ran away from relationships when they got too difficult or too intense.
Okay.
I would be like, you know, I'm out of here. Excuse me. And what I would do is I'd give people the option. I tell you, it's like, yo, I'm not built for this shit. So If you want to leave, go now. You know, I'll give you an example. When I went to prison, right? My last time I went to prison, I was talking to somebody, and we'd been talking for a while. We weren't exactly in a relationship, and I was on bail. I knew I was going back to prison. The only question was for how long. And I told her, I was like, look, I'm gonna go to prison. Once I leave, just go your own way. I don't want to end on a bad note. You go, and then if things work out and I run into you when we get back out, and when I get out, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair enough. I feel like.
I gave her an option because I know how it is. I put it this way: when I was young and I went to jail for 60 days, my so-called love of my life, the girl that got my name tatted on her and all that shit, the bitch couldn't hang fucking 60 fucking days. She was fucking some of my friends and shit already. So I'm just like, I was like, yo, never again, bitch. Like, I will never, ever be with you ever in fucking life again, no matter how much. And you know what? I'm not an egomaniac, so I'm not saying this because I'm trying to big myself up though, but every fucking female that did me dirty or that's my ex has always wanted me back.
Yeah.
And I think it's partially, because of me though, being the one to terminate the relationship. You dig what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, it's like unfinished business or whatever.
Okay.
So I gave her the option. She was like, nah. I'm like, nah, fuck that. You should go. So I went to prison. Well, I went to jail. And I kept getting harassed. I kept getting letters and stuff like that. Like,
he said harassed.
I looked at it like harassment. Like, yo, let me do my time. Because I've done time in a relationship before, and it's extremely difficult. You know what I'm saying?
How so?
Thanks. Thank you. Because it's tough. Because you gotta understand something. When somebody does, when you do time and you're in a relationship, they're doing time with you. Now they're not doing hard time. Like, let's not get it fucked up. Yeah. If they're committed and they love you, they're doing time with you. So that's what it is. They're sacrificing. Okay. They're coming to see you if they love you. They're spending money.
I see you. Yeah, you're right. You know the time it takes. You gotta.
The emotional stress that it causes. If you guys got children, it's worse. So my first stint in prison destroyed my relationship. You know what I mean? Because
I can see that. Yeah.
Because it was just a lot of stress, and it's a lot to ask for somebody to sit down and wait for you and watch the world live their lives while you two are not and hoping that something happens. Now, if you get somebody that does that and remains solid, you're a lucky motherfucker. You hit the lotto. So, but 9 times out of 10, that's not the reality. The reality is there's just too much going on out here for somebody to halt their whole life for you, especially somebody, if they never lived that lifestyle or came from that kind of background, they're just gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? It's what it is. So, back to the story. So, yeah. I'm in county jail. No, it's okay. I mean, this all pertains to what we're talking about anyways. Okay. So usually me going on the tangents anyway. So then I went to prison, right? And I told her, I was like, yo, it's like, just walk away. Don't worry about it. Take care of yourself. I'll catch up when I get out and you're not fucking barefoot and pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something could happen, whatever. So I went about my business.
She harassed you.
She kept writing me this and that, talking about, nah, we need to try this, need to do that. I'm down. I'm this.
That's sweet.
I'm like, you don't want this. Trust me, you don't want these problems. Don't fucking laugh at me, Esther. Don't fucking laugh at me.
He said, you don't want this?
It's not what you want.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm over here being a good fucking dude and you're laughing.
Over here keeping it real.
I should have dogged her out. I should have lied to her and told her to give her the sun, moon, and the stars.
I'm so done with you.
And shit on her, right? Nah, so look, so then that happened. I was like, look, she was like, no, nonstop. She kept asking. I'm like, all right, fine. That's what you want to do. You want to do this. I'm going to tell you right now. It's like, I'm not always going to ask you for stuff. But when I ask you for something, it's because I really need it. You know what I mean? I understand that you're living out there. I'm not a needy person. I don't have to call you every fucking day. You know, I'll write you like almost every day because I'm very expressive with words, and that's the kind of person I am. I like to express myself through words and shit like that. Yeah. So I was like, I'll write you and stuff like that. I was like, I don't need visits all the time. You can come visit me once a month, twice a month. That's cool with me. And if I'm farther, whatever. So she was like, nah, hell no, I'm going to be the best ever. Don't trip. I'm going to be the downest bitch you ever had. And telling me all this shit that I know is a lie. Like, you ain't, like she was telling me jail talks like, bitch, I'm the one locked up. I'm the one that's supposed to be saying this shit. But I'm going to let you fucking tell it, though. So she's telling me all this, right? I'm like, all right, cool. So then, you know, we get to talking and stuff like that. And, you know, we're talking. She's sending money and writing me and visiting me when she can, and then she's
holding it down.
Eventually, we concoct this plan about getting married.
Okay.
More so her than me, because she's like, hopefully that'll help. Because when you're married, it increases your chances. It doesn't guarantee, but it increases your chances that you will not get shipped to a prison far away.
Oh, okay, I see.
Which is something that I really wanted to do. I mean, because my son, you know, I really wanted to be closer for my son, but at the same time, I didn't want to do that under no false pretenses or nothing like that. So I was telling like, yo, this is just what it is. Just so you know, like, you know, we're trying to do this. Like, it's not like we're in love and we were in love when we left and whatever, you know what I mean? This is just something that we're trying to work out and see if it's even going to work at all. Mm-hmm. And so we did it. I got married when I was incarcerated. I got married.
No, you didn't. You've been married before?
I've been married before, yeah.
Shut up. Okay, you learn something new every day. Carry on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you just learned that your co-podcaster's a scumbag. Yeah,
I mean, I already knew that part, but now I just know that you're like a
different level of scumbag.
Before. Yeah, you're different level of scumbag.
I'm a divorced scumbag. Yeah. So, anyways, look, everything's going great. Visits.
Do you get to have conjugal visits now because you're married?
Yes.
Oh, get it in.
Yeah,
okay.
all that. We're doing all that, right? Visits.
Doing all that.
The books were always correct. Phone calls, whatever I needed. Like I said, she was doing her part. She's probably doing the most that anybody has ever done for me while I was incarcerated.
Okay.
I'll keep it 1,000 with you. About 4 months to go before it's time for me to go home to parole. Mm-hmm. I get that dreaded Dear John letter.
No, why?
She's like, you know what? I have a feeling like you're never gonna change. I don't. I feel like you're never gonna change. You're still the same person that you were when you got locked up. I can't do this no more. I need to discover myself. I need to find who I am and this and that before we could even do this. So let me give you that translation. What that means is she's fucking somebody else. And she's been fucking him for a while, and she caught feelings for him. And since I'm not tangible as like he is, she doesn't want to. She wants to run with this relationship and ours, which I'm like, I'm okay with it.
But you guys are married now. It's not just boyfriend girlfriend stuff. Like,
I'm okay with it. You want to know what bothered me more than anything?
I do.
What bothered me the most was that you would sit there and try to gas me up and tell me all this shit that you're going to do just to turn around and do something else. Now, I respected it though. She's like, I'm going to send the divorce papers. Please sign them. Please don't make it difficult. First, she would try to make it like I was going to sweat her. Like, I don't sweat nobody. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm the type of person, if you don't want to be with me, I'm not going to be with you. I'm not
say it with your chest. It's good.
I'm not going to hound you. I'm not going to stalk you. I'm not that dude. You feel me? Bye if you want to leave. So I was like, yeah, send them. It's good. Don't worry about it. But she was doing shit like, this is what I don't respect. She was doing shit like she was intentionally trying to hurt me. She'd be like, just so you know, I'm doing this. And she gave me her excuse. Then she was like, I signed the papers, whatever. A month or so after I signed the papers, I'm like 90 days to the house. I just want to let you know that I'm in a relationship now, so don't come looking for me when you get out. No, this didn't happen while we were together. This just happened. I'm like, bitch, weren't you on a self-journey, discovery, eat, pray, love type shit? Proud mouth ass bitch. I'm like, it's cool. I'm like, you didn't have to say that because you cut all off ties with me. So why would you fucking have to tell me what you're going
It's good to go. Like, don't even trip.
and what the fuck in your fucking mind would make you think that I'm gonna come out looking for you? I'm fresh out. Your boy got a 6-pack. You dig what I'm saying? I was in the best fucking shape of my life. I'm coming out to slay shit. Like, you think I'm really gonna come out to look for you, bitch? You got me fucked up.
Was that the last time that you went to prison?
Yes, this was my last prison term.
So she was so wrong about you then, huh?
She was super wrong about me, and she was super wrong about the whole situation. Let me tell you, as I proceed. So then I'm like, okay, whatever, crumble it up, throw it all away, throw all the bullshit away. I'm like, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Now, be that in mind, you know what I'm saying? She had my information. She put a credit card out of my name. She maxed it out. She did a lot of foul shit to me. Like I said, it's like, dude, why fucking, like, I don't understand, first of all, why even take that step? We could have just been talking, you know what I mean? And not got married and none of that shit.
Yeah, totally.
Then also on top of that, it's like, you ain't got to game me. You ain't got to cast me up. I'm not stupid, but I'm going to let you tell it. I'm going to let you tell it. You want to say what you got to say, go ahead. But the whole time I'm like, yeah, I don't believe this shit. So I come home, parole. Like I said, 4 months to the house, dude. She sat with me 3 years and about 8 months. She sat with me. You know what I mean? So about roughly 4 months to the house. She breaks it off, whatever. I come home, and then out of nowhere, I come home in 2012, so Facebook's new to me. All the social media shit's new to me. So out of nowhere, I get a request from her on Facebook, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna allow you on my Facebook because I got bitches on there.
Okay, right.
So then she DMs me like, hey, how you doing? I hope everything's okay. This, that, and the other. Da, 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 da. I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. Deuces. Then she's all, I just want to let you know that this is the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. I miss you. And I was like, oh, what happened, bitch? The nigga you was with didn't want to fuck with you like that, huh? He did to you what you did to me, huh? Karma's a motherfucker.
Okay.
So, word to karma and its almighty glory. I paid for my karma. Everyone's going to pick up the tab for theirs, whether you believe that karma is this or that way or the other. Mm-hmm. But it just goes to show you, like I said, it was just like, unnecessary. Because of things like that, I always try to, because of things like that and prior also instances, going back to our original thing, that's why I've been labeled as someone that runs away or gets out of situations. And it's not because I'm running away. It's because I look at things even though if I'm emotionally invested or not, I look at things from a very logical standpoint. So I try to nip shit in the bud. You feel me? I try to nip it in the bud and be like, you know what? This isn't going to work. I see it not working. Let's not drag it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's also the reason why I stayed too fucking long in my last relationship, because my stupid ass was listening to everybody else that done told me this shit about being too quick to cut shit off. I stayed probably a few years longer than I should have because I was trying to prove that, because my thing was like, people are like, well, that's what relationships are. They're hard times and you got to go through a lot of hard shit. And if you give up, before that, then you're not really giving it a try. So I'm like, okay, I've been obviously to this point, no relationship has worked out for me. So let me see if that's the approach. Maybe I do run too, but it wasn't that.
It wasn't that. Yeah, no, I think that I agree that sometimes relationships do go through hard times and stuff. Like in life, we go through hard times, but it shouldn't be a continual hard time. No. There should be a lot more good times than bad times. Most and definitely. People who love you aren't going to make you feel bad continually. You know what I mean? They're going to show their behavior, isn't going to be like that.
No, most definitely. And you have to understand something. It's like when you get in a relationship with somebody that's perpetually unhappy, that relationship is not going to change that. Mm-hmm. What it is that they're taking you along with them on their journey of fucking being unhappy. Yeah. When happiness is a choice and it's also it's a journey of self. Nothing on this earth is going to make you truly happy. You have to find that happiness within yourself first. Now, don't get me wrong. We have kids. They make me happy. They give me purpose. My child makes me happy. He gives me purpose. He gives me a breath of life. But if I'm miserable and he gives me happiness, all I'm doing is sharing that misery with him, because at the end of the day, it's not enough. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you have to try to be happy within yourself first. And that goes for anything. When you love somebody and you're trying to be in a relationship and you're in love, you got to first be happy with yourself. You first got to love yourself. If you can't love yourself, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to allow someone else to love you.
You know, I like to say though that like my husband, I feel like helped me love myself, because before I was with him, I definitely I wouldn't say but I definitely felt like I wasn't good enough for a relationship, like I felt like a complete scumbag, and I was like, no, like
no one's gonna love me.
Yeah, I've definitely said before to people like, well, once I get too annoying, just let me know, you know what I mean? And then we could cut it off, like no big deal. Like I get it, you know, like I'm fun for a good time, like, and that's that, you know? But like, my husband definitely made me feel like, no, bitch, you're worth a lot more than just a good time. And so I feel like I grew up a lot with him too. And like, you could definitely do that in relationships, and you can grow with people. Like, even if you don't start off like loving yourself all the way, like it could definitely be a journey together, like as well.
Most definitely. I agree with that totally, but you have to be willing first, you know?
Yeah, no, you gotta, definitely.
And you have to understand that the other person can't be your sole source of happiness. Like,
no, yeah.
Like you make me happy and I'm happy because, you know, you have to try. You have to want to try first for yourself. And if somebody there, if you have a companion and someone that loves you, yeah, they, of course, most definitely, they could help with that, but they can't be the sole reason why. And you know, my last relationship, that's what it was. It was like, the only reason apparently why she was happy is because of me. And it's like, no, you can't. I'm here to help you. I'm here to be with you along your journey. But like, you gotta love yourself. You gotta have some self-love. You know, you can't be constantly miserable and constantly like, you know, hating yourself and what you're going through. And then, you know, expect that your relationship is going to flourish. It's like, nah, you got to be willing and open to understand that you deserve happiness, but and I could help you, and I could help you feel better about it, but I can't be your sole source.
No, and that we could like achieve it together, you know, or be like on a journey together. Yeah,
exactly. We could grow together, and that's what I mean by like the willingness. But it's like, I can't be your sole source. Like if that's the case, then you have to work on yourself first, period.
So what's something that brings you so much happiness that like, you know, that like just brings you happiness?
Things that bring me happiness is having a purpose, you know, because I feel like, you know, I'm a traditional and a non-traditional man. So, you know, I grew up like, you know, provider, protector, you know, a positive example. Those are things that should be a man's purpose. You know what I mean? And, you know, to me, that brings me happiness. You know what I mean? That brings me happiness to know that I am that, and I'm capable of that. But also, I think to bring me happiness is by what brought me happiness is by giving myself a break and having some patience and understanding with myself. I know that I wasn't a perfect person. I know that I've been through a lot of shit, but knowing that, you know, that lets me know that I'm capable of doing better, you know, by acknowledging it, you know what I'm saying? So what brings me happiness is working on myself, you know, doing things better, you know, and that's all it is. At the end of the day, I just want to be a good person, you know. I'm not tripping off material things, although I like material things, although I like nice things and I like having money and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, it's not gonna, those things and being a provider and protector ain't gonna be solely what defines me. You know what I mean? Those are just parts of, to me, it's like an accomplishment to be able to be like, okay, I can take care of my family, I can take care of my kids. I you know, I'm a man of my word. You know, but also I think happiness comes with a lot of forgiveness, because a lot of times when you're unhappy, I feel like it's because you don't forgive yourself for stuff. That's
really deep, and that's so true for sure.
Yeah,
I think that a lot of people need to hear that again. Like,
well, hopefully, you know, I'm not no therapist. I'm not qualified in any kind of arena. I could just only tell people from my experience. But hopefully, this helps somebody, because it's true. You got to forgive yourself. Nobody on this fucking earth is perfect, and I know it's harder and harder to tell with social media, because all you see is people's fucking highlight reels, and you see the very best of their lives. You don't see what it took for them to get there, or what they've been through, or whatnot. Like, so it's tough. You know what I mean? But hopefully, you know, if you forgive yourself for whatever it is that's bothering you, shit that's out of your control, shit that was in your control, all that stuff, forgive yourself for all that, because you're not perfect, no one's perfect. And hopefully that allows you to heal and have happiness.
Yeah, totally.
You know, because like I said, we're all damaged people. No one's perfect. Everybody's been through a lot of shit. And that's kind of also what I've learned as I got older. In my perspective, it's like, I can't expect everyone to be where I am at in my life, in my evolution as a person. And and me knowing that, I have to treat people with some kind of understanding. Like, I don't have to like you, but if I see you and I see that you're doing stuff and you're acting out and you're a fucking racist prick, I don't have to like you, but at the same time, it's like, yo, something made you the way you are. Now, you know what I'm saying?
That
the fact you're perpetually unhappy is more than enough for me than me just kicking your fucking ass or doing something stupid.
I like to think of it as like layers, like that we all have, and that like some people, like the layers that are underneath what they're showing us is just like some really like hurtful stuff, you know, and that's why they behave the way that they do or something. My therapist told me one day that we're all just trying the best that we can with what we have at that moment, and I thought that was so telling, because if you look at the world like that, like the person who's driving like an asshole, like he's just doing the best that he can. It kind of like lets you lead
better,
with
motherfucker.
No, it lets you lead with love. Like we're just doing the best we can, you know. Like
that's how I love. With verbal jabs. No, but you're right though, and look, saying that doesn't mean we got to make excuses for people, but that people are trying. Yeah, and some people, you know, like I said, the outcome or the side effect of them not trying is their misery, you know, their unhappiness. If you're truly honest to God, trying every day to be a better person and trying to work on yourself and being mindful of how you treat people, how you walk around this earth and leading with understanding and compassion, I feel like you're reaching, or if not, you're already there when it comes to internal happiness. You know what I mean? But when you're not mindful and you don't give a fuck and you don't think about it, there's always something bothering you, and you're just like, yo, it's because you're not there yet. You're not working on it. You're not addressing the issue. You're not allowing yourself to forgive yourself. So then if you can't forgive yourself, you're not going to run around and give everybody else forgiveness.
That's so true.
You know what I'm saying? And people also got the term forgiveness fucked up. It's like, I could not like you and forgive you. And I could still not like you after I forgive you.
Yeah.
No, because it's not for you a lot of the times. The forgiveness is for yourself.
For yourself, yeah.
Be able to let it go. You know what I mean? So that's the thing that people understand. It's like, you know, I could forgive somebody for their actions, but I won't forget.
Yeah. That's another thing too, is that you could forgive for sure. Like, but that doesn't mean, like, I feel like you just kind of are able to see people, you know, like, okay, I see you. Like, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to forgive you, but I see you. Like moving forward, you know, I'm gonna have to make my moves accordingly to who you are. Like
exactly, and it's a choice at that point. What category you're trying to put that person in?
Yeah,
your life,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Are you in the I'm not dealing with you at all category? Are you on that? Are you in that? You know what? Give them some time. This person is obviously damaged. You know, maybe, you know, they'll change their ways. Are they in the, you know, I see them trying, I'm gonna give them a little bit of compassion and still deal with them to a certain extent. I mean, it's layers. Everybody, when we talked about it, it's like everybody don't belong in your inner circle.
No.
Your inner circle should consist of people that actually have shown and proven that they belong there. And vice versa. If you're a friend and you're there for somebody, then you got to prove that you're there for them too. And they got to be awarded into somebody's inner circle should mean something to you. It should mean something to them too. The problem is that a lot of people, their inner circle doesn't mean anything to them, so they just let anyone in, and then they get hurt and they get damaged by these people. Yeah. They treat everybody like that because, I have trust issues because this. No, you have trust issues because you let anybody and everybody in your circle that you shouldn't probably be trusting. Yeah, that's why you have trust issues. So at the end of the day, you gotta. It's all about accountability too. You gotta understand. It's like, yo, I fucked up by letting this person in my life. That was my fault. Yeah, you're gonna get me again. You ain't gonna fool me once, you ain't gonna fool me again. And you know, and allowing yourself to forgive yourself, like, okay, I made a mistake. Fuck it. It is what it is. I made a mistake. Don't dwell on it. You got your heart broke. Yeah. You caught an STD, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? And you move on, you know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully you get some treatment and then you move on.
Hopefully there is treatment.
Put a condom on your heart. And you know what I'm saying?
Put a condom on your heart. I like that one a lot,
Put a condom on
actually.
your heart and fuck your feelings. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I could see that like as a shirt or something. Like,
yeah, I'm sure. I don't know if I'm ready for that, but you know, you never know. You know what I'm saying?
That's so
I got my
sweet.
other shirts going on. But yeah, that was our therapeutic therapy session for the day.
Take care of yourself and find happiness.
Exactly. Do a little self-exploration and any kind that helps you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever helps you.
Oh, damn, like that, huh? Oh, fucking.
Gotta know the motions.
I'm not going to stop anybody.
Whatever helps you out, though. Look, at the end of the day, y'all, we all just people. We're just trying to live our lives and do the best that we can. So give yourself a break first. That doesn't mean that you could go do asshole shit and treat people everywhere you want, any way you fucking want to, and expect no consequences for it. There's always consequences for every action that we do. Some consequences are fucking terrible, and some consequences are just learning experiences.
Gosh.
I mean, but you got to give yourself a break. Like like I had a detox from the prison mentality and the prison and being and how I treated people and how I viewed people, because I demanded people to be how I was and how I treated them. And I would be extremely upset with people when I didn't get that same treatment in return. And I had to realize through time and a lot of self-reflection that everybody is not going to be how you are.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether they were just raised different, whether they're in a different point of their evolution as a person, or whether or not they just damaged and traumatized in their own ways. Like, you can't expect that. You can protect yourself by not expecting that from people, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Don't expect you out of somebody else. Now, if they carry similar traits as you, then that's a blessing. That's somebody that you definitely want to keep around, because you know that they understand and they appreciate, things. Go ahead.
Sorry, my child is coming over. No, you need to stay.
Right. Well, to be honest with you, I think this is about it right here. I think we hit them off with a nice little good therapy session this week. Sorry if we got too deep. Sorry if we got too deep for you guys.
No, we like it deep.
I'm sure y'all do. That's why the No Invite podcast is here. We're here for you to satiate whatever fucking appetites you might have that obviously fall into the podcasting. Some of y'all got some shit that we can't just help y'all with. Y'all gotta find that on your own.
Find your own happiness.
Mama, how can they find you?
Follow me on my Totally Tie-Dyed. It's gonna be in the links.
You can also go to No_Invite_podcast. She is always tagged in anything that she has a part of. So she's always tagged there. She's definitely a team member. I'm pretty sure I got you in the bio. If not, I will make sure that I put you in there. But yes, go follow us on No_Invite_podcast on Instagram. And you could also go to our YouTube channel. That's RiBirth Media Films, RiBirth Media Films with a Z. Go there, subscribe. Add us to your playlist, do whatever you got to do. That's how you really guys can support us. We don't mind you listening to us on any platform. But if you really fuck with us, it's always dope to have you guys on our YouTube channel. Subscribers, please. I'm Blaze One Diz. That's Hot Mama. We appreciate y'all. This is episode 96. We're slowly inching and edging our way to episode 100 to give you that big 100 for you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what it is, though, man. We appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much, and we will see y'all next week.